very good evening. Welcome to LFS for the Championship Live as we conclude our Easter weekend coverage with two huge games in the playoff battle in the Championship. First, we watch a Middlesbrough side looking to take a second place back off Millwall after they lost to Norwich earlier this afternoon, and a spot that was taken from them by Millwall, who beat them on Good Friday. They head to Swansea, a Swansea side mid-table, very little to play for, but could be a real upsetter in terms of these playoff places. Also this evening we have a huge match at the MKM Stadium. Hull City also needing to really kick on from their draw away at Oxford United on Good Friday, and they host pretty easy one in the league leaders Coventry City, who are 11 clear at the top of the table, could be 14 if results go their way this evening, and could be within touching distance of a return to Premier League football. We'll watch that one from 8 o'clock. Already on Easter Monday in the Championship, Portsmouth drew 2-2 with Oxford United, so a big point for Oxford on the road at there 2-2, and there was a red card as well in that game. Portsmouth were down to 10, so a crazy match to start off the lunchtime action. Millwall beaten against Norwich at the Den means Millwall hamper their chances of staying in the top two at least until they next play, and it didn't take long for them to be leapfrogged. Ipswich with their win against Birmingham put them above. Blackburn and West Brom finished 0-0 there at Ewood Park. Bristol City 2-1 winners against Sheffield United. That's actually really wrong. It's a 1-0 Bristol City win. I don't know where that came from. But 2 wins out of 2 for Roy Hodgson as Bristol City boss. Derby 2-0 winners against Stoke. Ipswich, as I said, 2-1 winners against Birmingham. Preston 1, QPR 1 was the final score there. As Sheffield Wednesday getting a massive point, however, already relegated, but making it really difficult for Leicester, who dropped points. They were actually losing in that game, Leicester, and rescued a point in the end. Could have been even more disastrous for Leicester. A point, but not really what they would have wanted on a trip to Sheffield Wednesday. And Watford 1, Charlton 1 was a final score at Vicarage Road. To the evening action then, as I said, Swansea taking on Middlesbrough and Hull taking on Coventry. Our two evening games to round off Easter weekend in the Championship. Let's have a look at the two teams then for this one, and starting with Vito Matis' side in Swansea, who, as I said, sit 16th in the table. They're 12 points clear of relegation and a good 11 points off the playoffs, so they're as mid-table as they probably could be, Swansea. Vigouroux starts in goal. Parker, Kabanga the captain, Burgess and Timon are the back four. Franco and Fulton make up that midfield two, with Cullen in the 10. Yom wide with Waddell either side of Zan Vipotnik, who is the leading scorer for Swansea and one of their main men, and he scored a penalty in a 3-3 draw away at Sheffield United on Good Friday. I'll be hoping to do the same today. Nunez, Ronaldo, Ward, Ida, Stamanic, Fisher, Santos, Yalkui and Walter all on the bench. Well, for Middlesbrough, it was a missed opportunity against Millwall on Good Friday, but they don't want to miss another one, and they certainly probably can't afford to miss another opportunity this afternoon. Bryn starts in goal, back four of Britain, captain Luke Ealing, Malanda and Bangura. Brown, Morris, McGree and Sarmiento are the midfield four, with Strelic and Tommy Conway up front. No Morgan Whittaker for this afternoon, or Hayden Hackney, two big body blows for Middlesbrough, who they really need at the moment, but without them for this trip to Swansea. Wildsmith, Edmondson, eBay, Fry, Gilbert, Hansen, Sene, Monroe and McCabe all on the bench for Kim Helberg's side, who need a win to really give themselves a bit of a cushion to those below them, and they need it because of points picked up from teams below them who are probably now above them in the table, certainly in the case of Ipswich. We get underway at the Swansea.com stadium. Swansea, of course, in all white with black trimmings, as is their natural home colour, and Middlesbrough in all red as their true colour. But Middlesbrough have the opportunity to take all 3 points tonight, reclaim second spot, and make sure that they won't be really dropping into the playoff places after they've been in the top two for the vast majority of this season. And at one point, we're even top of the table. That seems like a long time ago now. Middlesbrough were leapfrogging Coventry for top spot. They now find themselves coming into this game 12 points off the league leaders, looking to cut that gap to 9 here this evening if they can win all 3 points. Sarmiento driving in field. Just trying to pop it around the edge of the box here. Middlesbrough to get into the area. Cut back across, and Sarmiento can't really get a shot off. He's still going around with the ball. Now McGree lays it off. Strelic. And Brown just runs into white shirts in his way. Really good control around the edge of the box there, Middlesbrough, but just unable to get a shot off. Certainly controlling that area of the field after just a minute and a half here so far. Ball swung out to the left-hand side. Strelic to chase. Bangura on the overlap. Bangura whips it in. Takes a deflection through the legs of McGree and cleared away by Swansea. But Middlesbrough on the front foot from the off and piling on the pressure. Bangura whips one in. Headed away by Cabango, the captain, Ben Cabango, Swansea captain. And we see it here, the ball over the top for Britain, and then it's just cut back into the box. It drops to Sarmiento, who's trying to work a shooting angle. Can't get it off. It's McGree, lays it wide. And so many players in Swansea colours in the box. They just can't get a clean shooting chance there, Middlesbrough. Here's Sarmiento driving inside off the left. Again looking for a shooting chance. Doesn't take the shot. Switched wide. Britain cuts it across and too close to Lawrence Vigouroux in the Swansea goal, who can gather. But again, they seem to be the masters at the minute, Middlesbrough. Popping it around the edge of the 18-yard box without really doing too much. And already in the first 3 minutes, we've seen a couple of examples of their control in the final third without much cutting edge. They've started off with an intent to really go at Swansea and not wait around today, Middlesbrough. As I said, they running out of games to just pick up the odd point. They need to really command second spot if they want it. They need to go out and attack for it. And you have to say, the Middlesbrough team, who albeit lost to Millwall at the Riverside on Good Friday, but had 32 shots in that game, an XG of 3.35, over 60% possession, 5 big chances, 17 corners. The problem was, only 5 out of 32 shots were on target. A whopping 19 of them were blocked shots. Middlesbrough pulled off a defensive masterclass and then stole all 3 points, which was a real true kind of smash and grab from Millwall. Here comes Swansea with their first real attack. Waddell breaking down the left. He's across. Hooked away by Malanda. And Swansea pick it back up again and look to break into the box. And again, Middlesbrough just about eking it away. Sarmiento rides a couple of challenges and still comes away with the ball. Feeds it out to the left-hand side. Strelic trying to work it in behind. Wins a corner. Middlesbrough were quick on the counter there. And you got to say that came out of Swansea trying to attack. Ended up being caught on the break. Corner taken short. Conway picks it up at the byline. Spins it back to the An digital taker, Britain there, and Janvi Potnik doing a bit of defending. Puts it behind for another Middlesbrough corner. Straight off the training ground there from Middlesbrough. Just a short corner straight to Tommy Conway on the left side of the 6-yard box. This time whipped in, headed away at the front post. Bangura, last man there for Middlesbrough, just to retrieve possession. Morris under a bit of pressure here from the pressing Waddell. Gets it off to the turning captain Luke Ealing, and they can recycle it in midfield now, Middlesbrough. McGree. Back it goes to Bangura. Just look to build now. There's a nice ball in behind. A chip ball over the top looking for Conway's run. It drops and McGree was looking to pick it up, but I think it's going to be a Swansea free kick for offside against Tommy Conway. Nice idea though from Melinda to try and find Conway. Just on that occasion, just couldn't hold his run, the Middlesbrough number 9. As Vigouroux with the long clearance, running about the halfway line, but it will be a Middlesbrough throw on this left side. Well, as I said about a Middlesbrough team that have missed quite a few opportunities recently. Just 2 points from their last 12 available. 2 draws and 2 defeats in their last 4 games. Both of those defeats were actually at home against Charlton and Millwall. Moves either side of draws with Bristol City and away at Blackburn. So points dropped in games they probably should be on paper winning, Middlesbrough. Just a lack of cutting edge. They haven't scored more than 1 goal in any of those games. And 0-0 draw with Blackburn. That's a lovely ball in behind. Conway making the run at the angle. Out to the left-hand side. He's being challenged, and Ben Cabango comes away with the ball. And ultimately, Conway at the last touch will be a Swansea throw on the far side. See this ball, it's a beautiful ball. Swung over the back of the Swansea defence, out to that left channel. And Tommy Conway takes it in nicely. It was a beautiful ball. Really hard to defend those types of situations. And Vigouroux again. Not great distribution there from the Swansea keeper. Straight out of play for another throw. The last thing they want to do is pile on the pressure on themselves without Middlesbrough having to do very much. McGree picks up the loose ball in midfield. Zandy Potnik trying to make the tackle. Ends up giving away the foul. The referee this afternoon, Matt Donoghue. Seemingly been a good omen for Middlesbrough's rivals at the minute for promotion, as the referee oversaw Coventry's 2-0 win at 2-0 win away at Bristol City at the start of March, and Millwall's 1-0 win at home to Derby most recently. Not that that's anything conspiratory, but just a coincidence. Britain goes short with a free kick here. Morris back to Britain, who tried to drive that one into the middle. Cleared away as Ealing picks back up. Morris trying to work it wide, and can't he really carve out the space there. Middlesbrough straight out of play for a throw. A bit hit and hope so far though from the visitors. After that good spell in the first 2-3 minutes, just been a little bit hit and hope, as I say, with some of their passes. Timon takes a throw in. Waddell plays it back the way to Burgess, and now Vigouroux again trying to clear his lines under a bit of pressure, and again clears it straight out of play for a throw. the third or fourth time he's done that in the first 10 minutes. Swansea keeper. Clearly something Middlesbrough need to target. Oh, loose ball given away there by Ayling. And now Swansea could be in. Ayling does well to make up for it. Gets the block to win it back for Middlesbrough, but being out-muscled here at the minute, and that time, too much muscle. That's going to be a free kick. It was Fulton. Give away the foul. A little bit open there. Bangura plays it down the left-hand side. Conway back to Bangura! Fires Middlesbrough in front. Lovely little 1-2 between Tommy Conway and the eventual scorer, Alex Bangura. Started the move, finished the move. Middlesbrough lead with an absolute rocket from Alex Bangura into the roof of the nets. And Swansea keeper Lawrence Figaro had absolutely no chance to keep that one out. Again, it's a poor touch from Parker, the right back of Swansea. It allows Bangura to pick it up. Little 1-2 with Tommy Conway here. Conway's been occupying that left channel the whole way through the first section of this game. And he just waits for the run of Bangura on the underlap, on the inside, rolls it through. Then he struck it first time with the left foot, high into the roof of the net. And Middlesbrough, a goal they desperately needed to go their way early in this game. And that could be the foundation for a return to normal programming for Middlesbrough after what has been a little bit of a sticky spell in the last few games. They find the lead after just 12 minutes. And that will settle any Middlesbrough nerves after recent results. Oh, Ayling calls a handball there. Zanvi Potnik, the most vehement arguer of a handball against the Middlesbrough captain, but the referee saw no issue. None of the officials did. Middlesbrough will get the throw. See this again. No, it's definitely not. I mean, it's around about this area. It's arms down by his side. It would be incredibly harsh. Wasn't the most confident of touches though from Luke Ayling. Under pressure, it could have went anywhere really. It was an audacious one to take, but he did, and ultimately worked out for him. Well, we can show you. I think we can show you what a win, as I said, would mean for Middlesbrough in the table. We'll get both teams in the table. So this is how the table looks as it stands, with Middlesbrough currently winning. They would be obviously 9 adrift of Coventry, who still have to play, but they would be back up into second after they were leapfrogged on Good Friday. Here come Middlesbrough again, another chance. Strelic this time, right down the throat of Figaro. Again, lovely little layoff in the midfield. He just keeps running. Played into Strelic on that right-hand side. And he just kind of struck it right down the middle. It's a poor finish in a really positive situation. Swansea have it down the right flank here. Pressure by Morris, who looked to have come away with the ball, but Swansea keep it down that right flank. Nice to evade the challenge of Sarmiento there. All the way back to Burgess. Plays it out to the left-hand side for Waddell. Down the line it goes. On with the early cross. It's swung in and headed away by Malanda. Made sure no one was getting to that in his box. Swansea a decent response to going behind here though. Ball down the left-hand side. Here's again. Chops inside. Around the outside now of McGree. 1-2 with his fullback Timon. And on with the deep cross this time. That will bounce. It will be kept in play. Swansea having a bit of a spell here. Whip ball in from the right side. Looking for Vipotnik, but headed away again by Middlesbrough. Ealing this time with a header. Swansea having a spell of dominance. Looking to find an equaliser. Franco picking up the ball in the right channel. We'll cut back to Waddell. Decent spell of possession this from the home side. Burgess trying to swing one into the area. Oh, a little bit of a curler. Will it stay in play? It did. Assistant didn't flag, so it stayed in play. Just about. Changing the angles. Pushing ever deeper into Middlesbrough's half here, Swansea. Oh, make sure that Britain couldn't get to that one. No, they are forced back a little bit by the visitors. Cabango trying to play it direct through the middle. Has to come back to Burgess. Swansea with the control of the ball at the minute. And trying those longer balls from the back here at the minute, Swansea. Trying to bypass the midfield. And that's a good press. Force a poor clearance there by Britain. Swansea get the throw again. Well, Middlesbrough only edged this reverse fixture 1-0 back in August. The only score from Dale Fry. Morgan Whittaker's assist. Here comes Swansea. Couldn't squeeze it through there. Cut back to Cullen. Fulton now gives it to Om. Om looking for Fulton on the underlap. Fulton carried wide by the pressing Britain. Om again. Looks to be a threat from wide with those crosses. Back central. Franco angling it out to the right side. It's all Swansea at the minute with the possession. Haven't really got into the box though yet. Here's a nice effort. Trying to get on the end of it. Headed away by Britain. Recycled by Fulton. Swung in. Vipotnik couldn't get on the end of it, and a crunching challenge. That's going to give Swansea a penalty. Referee had a think. It was an absolute cruncher by Bangura. And now his goal is at risk. His goal that gave Middlesbrough the lead. And he's put it at risk, that lead. Again, it's really good patience from Swansea. Not forcing it time and time again into the box, waiting for the right moment. And it's just really poor. I mean, I don't actually know what Alex Bangura is thinking here. And he just completely cleans out Liam Cullen. And Swansea have the chance to equalise. After a good spell of possession, well, they have poked and prodded it around the Middlesbrough box. Now they will look to use their main man, Zan Vipotnik, to tie the game up. At the end of which the Middlesbrough fans reside. And the Middlesbrough goalkeeper keep his side in front. Zan Vipotnik. That'll run up, right-footed, finds the bottom corner. Swansea 1, Middlesbrough 1, on a decent 5-minute spell of possession where they were in control. Swansea, after going behind, they found their leveller, and Middlesbrough's lead is no more. Really coolly taken by Zan Vipotnik. He waited for the goalkeeper to choose what side he was diving, and just slotted it into the opposite corner. Easy as you like for Swansea's leading man. It's his 19th championship goal this season. That's back-to-back games where he scored penalties. And Zan Vipotnik makes it 1-1. Goal number 19 of the season in minute number 20 of the game to tie things up and to make the day a little bit more difficult for Middlesbrough. But I have to say, after that spell of possession, you can't argue that Swansea deserve it. You can't argue with that fact. You know, after Middlesbrough scored, they had one chance, I think, to make it 2-0 with Strelic. They missed that, and then from then on, until Swansea got the penalty, it was all Swansea possession in Middlesbrough's half. And it's a very good response from the home team, who, as I said, can be a real upsetter in this playoff race. They can be a real upsetter at either end of the table between now and the end of the season. They play Leicester away next and then host Southampton in their next two games. Two teams that they play with everything to play for. They can be a real thorn in the side of their opponents, Swansea, in the weeks to come. Oh, McGree! Shot it right at a Swansea player in the box there. Again, now that Middlesbrough have conceded, they're trying to spring back in front. McGree's cross. Way by Burgess. Not fully clear by Parker. Morris trying to go with a little 1-2 link up with Sarmiento, but seen her to play again by the Swansea defence. And the left is Bangura. Looking for the run of Sarmiento, trying to return the favour. Again, bodies in the area in white who clear it away. Halfway through the first half, Swansea 1, Middlesbrough 1. Big chances have come for both teams. I think Middlesbrough have had one better big chance than Swansea, and they didn't take it. I think 3 big chances in the game, and both sides took one of their chances. Here comes Middlesbrough on the move to try and get back in front. And as I said, it is really important that they don't again miss another opportunity to really take control of that second place. And they've got some big games of their own to come as they're popping it around the area. McGree again trying to get the shot off from the edge. Blocked right at his toes. And Swansea are putting in a real shift here defensively to keep Middlesbrough at bay again. Sarmiento's just getting back to his feet slowly. Here's Conway into the box. Blocked behind for the corner by Parker. Yeah, Sarmiento. He just kind of little nudge, and then as he fell awkwardly with that left ankle. Ooh, yeah, he just the way he fell hurt his left ankle. He is back to his feet. He had a harder stuff than that. Jeremy Sarmiento. It will be a Middlesbrough corner. Right footed delivery. Headed away at the near post again. That time it was Franco, and then the follow-up delivery is right into the hands of Vigouroux. Well, Swansea haven't won any of their last 3 games. They did come from 3-1 down against Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on Good Friday to draw 3-3. And they were 1-1 in that game. They were 1-0 down and equalised through Zanvi Potnik in the first half to make it 1-1. Maybe a deja vu there, maybe, who knows. They lost their previous 2 games two playoff hopefuls and promotion hopefuls, Coventry and Wrexham. 2-0 and 3-0. Swansea, home and away, without scoring in either of those two games. The last home goal was in a 2-0 victory over Stoke. They scored twice in that game. They are the definition of a mid-table side. As I said, they couldn't be more mid-table if they tried, Swansea. As I said, coming into this one, 12 clear of relegation and 11 points off the top 6. I mean, it's right bang in no man's land as much as you can be. Ball swung out to the left here. Bangura. Got inside of Sarmiento. Rolls it towards Conway. Nice play here. In around the edge of the box by Middlesbrough as Sarmiento tried to angle one to the far corner. Well off targets. Yeah, but they are. But this is a Middlesbrough side who are, so good at playing. I said this from the very off. They're a side that can pop it around the box and have a lot of fun with it. But when it comes down to business of trying to find that goal when you need it, they seem to be a side that let that go adrift. They get a lot of shots off, but they're not shots that you think that the opposition are really fearing them. You think if you hear that Millwall have faced 32 shots, you think they were absolutely destroyed. They only faced 5 shots on target. At this point, in this game, see it at 1-1, you think, yes, Middlesbrough are having more possession and getting more shots off, but are they really looking like a team that should be winning this cleanly? No, not really. It's down to the ultimate lack of firepower, really. No disrespect to them, but sheer firepower in the team. That's why I think it comes back to, the injuries to Hayden Hackney and Morgan Whittaker, why they're not involved. They are major blows to Middlesbrough and big misses. Not only for their quality in front of goal, but their ability to to make everything tick for Middlesbrough, and how important they are to the overall running of the team. But they're not here today, and they're going to have to do it without them once again. And I think the key stat that I look at, big chances. Big chances, I think, come down to, how threatening is a side? When they get forward, how threatening are they? Swansea have had 1 shot, 1 on target. They've created 1 big chance. That was the penalty. Now, of course, they've not created anything other than that. But they took their chance when it came. Middlesbrough haven't had a chance yet. Albeit they've scored, but that wasn't seen as a big chance. I think Fidel did well there. 2 big tackles, but the referee said one of them wasn't legal. And a free kick given to Middlesbrough here around the halfway line. And of course, big news today that Lincoln City back to the Championship. First time in 65 years. Back to the 2nd tier of English football after they were secured promotion today. Their 2-1 win over Reading. Secured that confirmation of that promotion place. On top of the fact that Bolton and Stockport drew 2-2, which meant that it was mathematically impossible for either of them to catch Lincoln. And then Lincoln went on and won, so it didn't even matter if they drew. But we'll be watching Lincoln City back in the 2nd tier next season. And they will definitely be facing Swansea, no doubt about that. But will they be facing Middlesbrough is the big question. Middlesbrough side who over the last few years have been in and around this position, you know, albeit 24-25, they just fell apart towards the end of the season, and we're a side that were very much in the mix to be a playoff team last season. Didn't end up playing on that. They didn't the season before. In the season before that, they finished 4th. Ultimately went out in the playoffs. And then failed to get to playoffs, finished 7th the season before that. So, over the last 4 seasons, they've been toying around with getting into the playoffs and getting promotion. But haven't really been in this position where they're fighting for an automatic spot for quite a while. And that is what they want to be doing. Of course, it's been a time since Middlesbrough were in the Premier League. Back in 16-17. It was the last time they were in the Premier League. And they went up the season prior to that, finishing 2nd to Burnley, and finished above Brighton by goal difference. 2 goals was the difference between Brighton and Middlesbrough in 2nd and 3rd that season. That was 10 years ago. Well, there's a few Middlesbrough players down at the moment. We do have a stoppage in play. Strelic is down at one side, and then there's another player getting treatment. I couldn't quite just see there, but the game is at a halt. 32 minutes in. Is it Bangura, I think? It's just on his haunches, just being spoken to there by the physios. Alex Bangura, who was perfect, had a perfect start to this game, scoring, giving Middlesbrough the lead, and then he had the mad moment in his own box where he completely cleaned out Liam Cullen to give Swansea a penalty to try and equalise. And it looks like he's going to have a blockbuster 32 minutes, Alex Bangura, and leave us. He's not going to be able to continue, it looks like here. I mean, that's one hell of a 32-minute performance. Still an issue here for Strelic as well. So the physios finished dealing with Alex Bangura, jogged across the pitch and said, I'll have a look at David Strelic as well. There's Strelic up and okay. Bit of tightness in the left ankle there. But Alex Bangura won't be able to continue. And he's going to be replaced by Finlay Monroe. Of course, no Matt Targett. He's out injured with a hamstring. The first choice left back for Middlesbrough. Bangura in deputising for him. And he's now injured, which means Finlay Monroe comes into the side. Finlay Monroe, just 21. Unknown at Swindon in the first half of the season before he ultimately came to Middlesbrough. Signed officially on a four-year deal, sorry, in January for £305,000. And has made 2 championship appearances this season for them, albeit a couple of minutes in each one. The 4-0 win over Preston and the 3-1 defeat to Coventry at the CBS Arena. The 2 games he's played in so far in Finlay Monroe for Middlesbrough in the championship. Back to 11v11 after Strelic and Bangura had their little issues. Bangura off for Monroe and Strelic back on to the fields. Heading into the final 10 minutes of the first half here at the Swansea.com Stadium. Swansea 1, Middlesbrough 1. Alex Bangura set up by Tommy Conway with a lovely little 1-2 between those two down the left channel. And Bangura's weapon of a finish, giving the visitors the lead. Albeit though, A mistake by the goal scorer to give a penalty away. And Zan Vypotnik putting away his 19th goal of the season to tie things up. Since then, it's ebbed and flowed. A little bit of Middlesbrough control without really much cutting edge in the game and many goal-mouth action. Now there's an issue here for a Swansea player. A little collision with Luke Ayling, and it is midfielder Jay Fulton. Yeah, Ayling was the one that was actually shoved by Fulton. Just kind of a barge there by Fulton, and then he's hurt himself in the process. He's up and okay, but just needed a second. It's one hell of a player to bang into, Luke Ayling. 34 years old, he's been there, done it, seen it all. Has all the souvenirs to go with it. He's been a Middlesbrough player permanently for a year and a half now. Joined on a free from Leeds after he was on loan in the start of 2024. And now he captains this Middlesbrough side with his senior experience of getting Leeds into the Premier League all those years ago. Well, I say all those years ago, it was about 5-6 years ago, but he got Leeds back. And now Middlesbrough hoping he can do the same with them and lead this team back to the top flight after 10 years without top flight football here for Middlesbrough. Not here, Swansea.com, but it has to be the most bizarre name for a stadium. Swansea.com stadium. I mean, it's fascinating, by the way. Free kick here. Morris actually was brought down, so another Middlesbrough free kick. It's been very stop-start, not much high tempo action in this game in the last 20 minutes or so. Or sorry, 15 minutes since the penalty. For Zan Vypotnik. Middlesbrough's last shot was 10 minutes ago. Jeremy Sarmiento absolutely skied one. Still only with one shot in the game, Swansea. And that one shot, the key one, for Vypotnik from the spot. Free kick here by Britton. Swung to the back post. Headed back into the area. Over the head of tracking man in there for Middlesbrough. I think it was Malanda that was threatening, but Vidal put it behind for the corner. Which Callum Britton will come over and take for Middlesbrough on the right hand side here. Opportunity and give his team a chance to get back into the game and back in front before half time. Britton, low one, and struck well wide by Tommy Conway. That's another training ground exercise surely for Middlesbrough. Conway makes a run from the back post to the front. Low cut cross by Callum Britton to the front post, and Tommy Conway strikes well wide. Nice idea, just not great execution. And I think that's probably what sums up Middlesbrough so far. They've great ideas, just not able to execute on them all the time, at least a lot of the time. Now Franco, and a layoff here for Swansea, and they're on the breakaway themselves. Cut back, nice little step up, another challenge on Vypotnik this time, but referee saw no issue in Vypotnik with a major chance to try and give Swansea the lead. Again, a breakaway down the right here. Franco played it in, and then the cutback from the right flank by Parker, I think it is, that cuts it back. It is, and Vypotnik in the middle. He tries to take the touch to set it up for the venomous effort. Ultimately, in the end, kicks there, and the ball sees its way flied out, cleared away for a throw. As takes the long throw, flicked on at the front post, away by Britton. Then Vidal drops for on the right side. Conway trying to challenge, but beats past him. Cuts it across, and the deflection into the side netting. And it is a corner to Swansea. Well, a spell of lull in this game. So far, Swansea have come right back. And towards the end of this first half, look like the team that want to go in front. And are pushing for a second. Corner it is, their first of the game. On this right-hand side. And it is just timing to take the corner. Number 14. Left-footed delivery. Flicked on by Vipotnik at the near posts, but flicked well wide. Just has to glance it, I think, there, Vipotnik. He tries to put too much power on it. The power's already on it. You just need to guide it across goal. Been easy for me to say. I've never scored a headed goal in my life. But easier said than done, but that was the type of technique he needed, and I'm sure he would agree. It's a glancing header rather than a fierce, direct thumper. Oh, given away cheaply here. And they're flopping it about here. Middlesbrough towards the end of the half. Vipotnik gets his feet all middled up. He just about lays it off to Parker, who can keep Swansea in possession, but they're pushing here towards the end of this first half. Fulton down the right hand side. Parker trying to link up with Franco. Parker on the chase, clips it across. Header was drops for Vidal. Now Vipotnik over the crossbar. Well, it's all Swansea pressure, and Middlesbrough are very lucky that they're not behind here. Clip ball, beautifully clipped across by Parker. Britton does just enough to see off on the header. It drops for Vidal. He has an effort, deflects back into the path of Vipotnik, who tries to take it on the volley, but just kind of slices it over the crossbar. Three minutes of the first half to go. Swansea on the front foot and in the ascendancy, but Middlesbrough want to hit that on the break. Here comes Monroe, driving forward. Monroe trying to link up with Sarmiento, who's heavy touch, and I say heavy, massively heavy touch. Sees it out for a goal kick. Just over 2 minutes to go with the first 45, and another issue here. It's not a nice one to see. Their captain, Ben Cabango, is down. He's holding his right ankle. So well, he was holding his right ankle. Ben Cabango's going to need to receive some treatment here. Well, Swansea have won just one of their last 9 league games against Middlesbrough. Drawn 1 and lost 7, though it was in this exact fixture last season. And they won 1-0 on the 8th of March 2025. Keeping the receipts. The only scorer in that one, Jisung Om, scored the only goal of the game. Liam Cullen with the assist. Despite late Middlesbrough pressure, couldn't find the back of the net. And Swansea became the big winners that day. Actually, last season, Swansea were only pipped to the post by Middlesbrough in terms of positions in the table. By 3 points, they finished above them. Swansea finished on 61 points last season. Middlesbrough on 64, 10th against 11th there. It finished. I dropped my pen. Oh God. Last minute of the first half, but Ben Cabango back to his feet. He's on the sidelines, hobbling a little bit. Whether he'll be able to come back on or keep him, then maybe think about assessing him at half-time. Probably the desired approach, rather than forcing a substitute in the first half. See how he is, go to half-time and then assess him at the break would be the ideal idea, I would suggest. Well, Vigouroux to take this. Goal kick then. Thumped up the field. Vipotnik was the target, but it sailed over his head. And Malanda could bring it down and feed it wide to Finlay Monroe. 45 up, 5 to go. 5 added minutes at the end of the first half. Injuries have really taken kind of the front seat A lot of this first half that's been very stop-start since the Swansea penalty. Ball cut back, swung in deep by Ayling. That one's too deep, actually. Parker made sure that it was going behind, and he puts it back for the corner. A little bit of a cheap corner to give away there, really. Taken short. On the move quick as it swung to the back post. Guided across. Right the way all the through. Back across it comes again, and Ayling couldn't get a shot off. O'Brien finds McGree. Morris. Back to McGree wide. Got Vidal and in his way. McGree cuts back to Ayling, who gives away to Vidal, but picked back up again by Middlesbrough. Neither side want to keep the ball for the moment. Hooked clear by Burgess as I say, Cabango back onto the field. I'd still be very happy to see Swansea with this Middlesbrough pressure. Ayling. Down the right channel, finds McGree. Runners in behind, but McGree wants to cut it across and a flick on. It sees a Middlesbrough head against another Middlesbrough player. Hooked clear by Swansea. All of a sudden, Middlesbrough have hope there, but that ball from Ayling given away a little cheaply. Now Franco, he's going to ping one in behind, and Ji-sung in behind. He's committed the goalkeeper, and he's gone down, and it's another penalty. Another little thing from Matt Donoghue, the referee, and he points to the spot again. This time it's the Middlesbrough goalkeeper, Solomon Bryn, taking down Ji-sung, and it is a penalty to Middlesbrough for the second time in this first half. It's a lovely ball in behind. Makes a great run in behind. And Bryn comes crashing out of his goal. Madness from the goalkeeper of Middlesbrough. And he just, I don't know what he's trying to do. He's way away from the ball, and he just kind of stretches his right arm out and catches the shin of Ji-sung. Any sort of contact, Om's going to go down. And it's a terrible, terrible moment from the Middlesbrough goalkeeper. And Vipotnik against Bryn. Bryn, who couldn't save the first one. Can he make up for his error to stop Swansea from going ahead? The dying embers of the first half here. Vipotnik against Bryn for the second time in this first half from the spot. Referee making sure everybody's outside the box before he lets Vipotnik take this penalty. Can it be a spot kick double in the first half? Jan Vipotnik makes it 2-1. Vipotnik again from the spots turns the tables on this first half. Middlesbrough, who took the lead, but two Swansea penalties have them behind as we edge close to half-time. Kim Helberg again seeing his side take the lead, take control, and throw it all away. Zan Vipotnik from the spot twice in the first half. That's a beautiful penalty. It's more about accuracy than anything else there from Zan Vipotnik. Tucks it in off the inside of that left post. Beautiful penalty. But madness from the goalkeeper, Solomon Bryn. What on earth is he doing? Ji-sung makes a great run. And a mistake from Bryn. Two errors from Middlesbrough. Two penalties for Swansea. Swansea 2, Middlesbrough 1. With seconds remaining of the first half. And that is goal number 20 in the league this season for Zan Vipotnik. And his second of the game. That has Swansea 2-1 up. And again, it's another example of how Middlesbrough just cannot keep their heads in big pressure moments. Oh well, Riley McGree has gone off at the fourth. The assistant there on the sideline wasn't happy with the decision of giving a throw-in to Swansea, and it's going to get him a yellow card. So They really need to recapture a bit of composure here, Middlesbrough. A little bit all over the place in this first half at times. And they've got, and I think the worst thing they've done is when Swansea equalised, they allowed the game to enter a period of a lull. They didn't really reassert control, reassert a dominance to get back in front of the game. They just let the game kind of go along nicely. Nothing really happened for 25 minutes. That's the most dangerous thing you can do. Just allow the home side to stay in the game. And then critical individual errors costing Middlesbrough in this first half. Oh, a slip there in the middle by Sarmiento. He's done well to win it back though. And he's going to get the free kick as he was clipped at there multiple times by Franco. And it's going to be a Middlesbrough free kick right before the end of the first half here, surely. Into the 7th minute of the first of added time in the first half. Kim Helberg. I mean, cutting a despondent figure there on the sideline. He looks like his world has come crashing down, the Middlesbrough head coach. Is he seeing his team just crumble when they really, that's the last thing they need to be doing right now at this time of the season? Vigouroux just trying to make sure that that 4-man wall of Swansea has all the possible angles covered. And you've relegated a player out of that wall. 3-man wall now. Monroe with a shot! Well saved by Vigouroux. Great free kick. Great save. Oh, maybe one last chance for Middlesbrough at the end of the first half. Callum Britton swings one in. Headed away by Orme. Back to Monroe again, whose shot was charged down by Franco. And no time left of the first half. Half time. And a Swansea penalty double in the first half. As the Swans swimming their way to 3 points. And Middlesbrough drowning under the pressure. Half time at the Swansea.com Stadium. It's Swansea City 2, Middlesbrough 1. Sure, one last kick. This is gonna be it. This is the moment. Vicario kicks this. And Liverpool are there. Liverpool are Premier League champions. And there it comes. Crystal Palace, for the very first time in their history, are FA Cup winners. Oh, he's found the net. Oh, what a goal! Kvaratskhelia is through, wants to add a 4th, and does so. Ahmad, oh my goodness me! That is absolutely unbelievable! Rice again. Oh! You thought he couldn't beat the first one. He's gone and bettered it. Another whip ball in. The header is in by Virgil van Dijk. Incredible! Championship live half-time in our first of two huge games this Easter Monday, and it is Swansea 2, Middlesbrough 1 at half-time. A scoreline I'm sure Hull will be very pleased to see right now, as they are looking to keep hold of their places in battling for these top two spots as well. But a Middlesbrough side who've really thrown it away in the first half. Two individual errors from Alex Bangura, who actually scored Middlesbrough's opener. He gave away the first penalty, and Solomon Bryn, the goalkeeper, gave away the second. Both taken and converted by Zan Vipotnik with his 19th and 20th league goals of the season, turning the game from 1-0 Middlesbrough to Swansea, leading by 2-1 at the break, and that would be calamitous for Middlesbrough. As I said, they were already on a poor run. It would be now 3 defeats in 5 if they were to lose this game, and it would mean they would be third in the list of teams trying to finish second, and possibly could be third of 4 teams if Hull beat Coventry later, which looks unlikely, but you never know in the Championship. And it would be advantage Ipswich with that game in hand over the rest around them. But before all we talk about Hull against Coventry a little later, that is our late game, by the way, just to remind you. Hull against Coventry. Hull City, as I said, currently 4 points off Middlesbrough, and the Coventry side here currently 11 points clear. With Middlesbrough not winning at the moment, it would mean they could extend their gap, Coventry, to 14 points if they win this evening with just 5 games left to play. They would be on the precipice of a return to the Premier League within a game or two's time if they were to win this evening and Middlesbrough were to continue to fail to win this evening. That game's at 8 o'clock, and we'll have team news for that in around about a half an hour's time. But before all that, we have a second half to play at the Swansea.com Stadium, where it is Swansea 2, Middlesbrough 1 at the break. Who knows? What has Kim Hellberg said to his side at half-time that can turn this around for Middlesbrough? And as I say, a must-win game you really have to feel if they want to attain control of who has the leading spot for second. Remember, with Ipswich with that game in hand, Middlesbrough need to hope they win this evening, and with Ipswich having 2 games in hand on them, you know, Ipswich still have the key spot right now. They're second and have 2 games in hand. They're in a glorious position. There's an issue here with the sprinklers. There they are. Sprinklers didn't want to go down there. They are down, and we're all but ready to go for the second half. Middlesbrough kicking from right to left, Swansea from left to right in the second period. And we're back underway for this of our first of 2 Championship matches this Easter Monday evening. And so far, so good for Swansea. And quite the opposite for Middlesbrough. As I said, they're the ones in need of a win. They're the ones in need of big points to try and reclaim second spot from Ipswich, who stole that away from Millwall, who really started this chain reaction this afternoon with their 2-1 defeat against Norwich at the Den. But it is so truly Championship. Even if Middlesbrough come back and win this, I don't think this will be decided until we get very near the end of the season, and I mean the last few games. Remember, the final day of the Championship is Saturday the 2nd of May. 12:30 Saturday the 2nd of May is the final day, all 12:30 kickoffs. Middlesbrough have Wrexham away. That's a huge game it could be. Millwall have Oxford at home. Hull of Norwich. Leicester and Blackburn play each other in the final day, by the way. Coventry away at Watford. They could already be champions by then, Coventry. Southampton are away at Preston, and Ipswich host QPR. Interesting games for that final day. It could come down to that point. Previously it has. Previously, it's been goal difference that separated the teams at the top, so can go as tight as it can be. And if Middlesbrough fail to win, it will be a point between 3 teams. It could be 2 points between 4 by the end of the evening if Hull win as well. It would be a real turn up for the books. Yeah, and it would also mean if Coventry were to lose, Ipswich would have 2 games in hand to try and get 6 points on Coventry and be 5 behind them at the time they next they play their 42nd game. That's a possibility. I'm not saying it could happen or will happen, but could. Anyway, back here, let's refocus. Parker for Swansea. Swansea side who did barely create anything really in the first half. Early doors of real great note. 2 penalties, there are only 2 shots on target of the game, but Swansea, it's not like they've been dominated in this game, and that's the key worry, I'd say, for Middlesbrough. You know, the talk in previous games have been, yeah, they haven't been able to convert. They haven't been able to be clinical in the final third. They're getting shots off. They're dominating oppositions. You can't say they've dominated Swansea today. You can't say they've controlled the play the whole way through. You can't say that they've been well deserving of a lead and just haven't been able to find it. It's been probably the exact opposite. Here's Conway. Cuts it back here to Brown. Across to Morris. And tiptoeing around the box again, Middlesbrough. Brown. Just need to have a wild effort at it. Strelic trying the cross. And the deflection off Parker. Sees it behind. Into the hands of Figueroa. Yeah, strong defending there from Sam Parker. 19-year-old Welshman. It's only his sorry, I'm terrible at counting. Shouldn't be. His 12th appearance for Swansea at senior level. His first championship appearance of the season this evening. He's played in the League Cup twice for Swansea this campaign. In wins over Crawley and Plymouth on penalties, but has been on the bench for the last number of games, but gets his opportunity today and is performing quite well at right back there. Sam Parker. Sarmiento frustrated for foul given against him in the Swansea box. Kick taken by Figueroa. Held up well there by Fulton, and it comes all the way back to Parker. Cabango back to Figueroa, pressured by Conway. Long clearance. Cut out in the middle and taken down by Middlesbrough. Morris sprays wide to Britton. Callum Britton. Strelic across. Oh! Burgess there whacks it off his own man's face in Vidal. That's going to be a corner. And Franco's going to be given a yellow card. See this, it's a late challenge on Morris, I said, as he just let the ball go to Callum Britton. To be fair, I don't know about that. Anyway, corner it is. Gonzalo Franco with the yellow card. Header away at the near post by a defender. Reversed by Morris, down the right channel. And brought down there by Vidal. Was Jeremy Sarmiento. Free kick to Middlesbrough again. Yeah, Vidal this time. Slightly clipped that there. Clipped at Sarmiento. Definitely a free kick. An opportunity. Have an ample opportunity from set pieces so far, Middlesbrough, without really doing anything with them. They've had 5 corners. 7 free kicks. Right footed delivery, it's deep. Sarmiento close to the target, but again, Timon this time across. Heads it behind at the back post for a corner. Taken short quickly by Sarmiento. Morris. A bit more urgency about Middlesbrough. Callum Britton. Inside. Wanted a foul again there as a player went down, but the breakaway's on. And Ji-sung Om is in behind, and Bryn, the goalkeeper, just about got there ahead of Om. Very lucky. Om was there, and an empty net was lurking if he didn't get the clean connection to that, the Middlesbrough keeper. He did. Rescues a possible threat on the counter. So here come Middlesbrough again, down the right-hand side. Ball swung towards the run of Morris, who just about keeps it in play. Morris to Sarmiento, edge of the box, trying to edge up for a shot, but gives it away, and Franco's frustrated. The referee got in the way. Apologies from the referee, but Gonzalo Franco was having none of it. Furious at the referee. When he can't disappear. It's an accident. It's drop ball. Uncontested drop ball for Swansea. And Ben Cabango will be the one to take it. When it drops, finds it out to Parker. Cabango looking for the switch ball and kicks it straight out of play for a throw on the far side. Some movement from the Swansea bench. Double change incoming for the hosts. 8 minutes into the second half, and it's been a lot of Middlesbrough possession without, again, really much cutting edge. Not had a shot in the second half either team so far. Here's Brown's driving forward, finds Strelic wide. Monroe tries the cross, blocked. Seen out by Fulton. Brown pressing, wins the throw. Well, you can... Vitor Matos, I think, just kind of feeling that game swung. And they're going to go for a triple change, actually, here. Swansea. Bring some fresh legs on. Got the throw in for the moment. Header one there by Malanda. Just about takes it down well. Wants to look forward rather than backwards, as Monroe does give it back to Morris. Morris down the line to Finlay Monroe, who came on for Alex Bangura, of course, who scored the Middlesbrough goal. Brown trying to clip one into the area, but far too narrow. Not wide enough. Goal kick it is, and more poor Middlesbrough play in and around the area. I mean, they're, I think, overplaying it a little bit now. Trying to be too patient. Trouble changes incoming then. So the first to make way, it's going to be number 17, Gonzalo Franco, who's just on a yellow card. Also coming off is going to be number 7, Melker Vidal. And Zan Vipotnik is also coming off. So a triple substitution for Swansea. That's going to see Adam Ida, Marko Stamanic, and Ronald, I think, coming on. It is. So Franco, Vidal and Vipotnik all off. Stamanic, Ronald and Ida all on. Straight swap at centre forward, which is an interesting one. Adam Ida for Zan Vipotnik. Adam Ida, who scored and assisted in the 3-3 draw with Sheffield United at Bramall Lane on Good Friday. And the last time he played here, he scored against Wrexham in a 2-1 victory. In his last home appearance, it was a late 90th minute winner after they were 1-0 down in that game. They're 2-1 up already as he enters the fray with 34 minutes to go. So a long way to go in this one. And Swansea have a lead to try and hold against a desperate Middlesbrough who need points. Will need a win to take control of second place again. We didn't actually show you what the table looked like when they went behind. Middlesbrough. This is what the table looks like as it stands, with Middlesbrough trailing. They are 4th, below Millwall and Ipswich, of course, who are both on 72 points. They'd be on 71, Middlesbrough, with a defeat after 41 games, and would be in the clutches of those behind them, possibly, with Hull still to play, Wrexham still to play, and Southampton with 2 games in hand, all within touching distance of Middlesbrough below. And they could be dragged into that fight rather than the one above them. It will be 5 without a victory if they fail to win here this evening, which would be all but criminal, really, in a promotion push. Ronaldo on the field, working it down the right for Parker. Sam Parker sees off the challenge of Monroe, and then Malanda. Parker stays on the ball and rolls it back to his man in Ronald. And Ronald tries to cross, blocked by Monroe. Parker down the line, and Monroe there a little late on Ronald. And it's going to be a free kick. Swansea have just looked a bit re-energised with those subs. It's the last thing Middlesbrough want to see right now. A Swansea team that look like they've got more energy than they did before. I think that the one word you would use is sleepwalk, really. They've sleptwalked their way to this point, Middlesbrough, really. They've let the game drift, and they've been well out of it for a long time now in this game. Albeit they're only 1 goal down, but you just look at lost out there. Free kick delivered in by Alm. It's over the goalkeeper, who punches it away. Bryn just got his right arm to it at the last second. And Morris trying to spring a counter, but that was well blocked. And seen back to the goalkeeper in Vigouroux. To switch it out to the right side. Header on by Ronald. And look at the space in midfield for Swansea to pick up the ball. I mean, they look knackered, Middlesbrough. Devoid of all energy to chase for the ball. Swansea are in control. No. Pressed by Ronald. Well played there from Alan Brown to just hold off the pressure of Ronald, and Malanda has to go back to his goalkeeper, who's making some silly decisions again. Gets it away, just about, and Callum Britton plays it into midfield. Brown trying to anchor Middlesbrough forward, but he's being chased all the way by Cullen there, and he shakes him off. Finds Luke Ayling. Drifting forward, Ayling trying to play the through ball, took a deflection that falls fortuitously for the Swansea goalkeeper. Here's a run from Parker down the right. He's got Ronald along with him. Parker's carried it about 40-50 yards up the field, and he's won his same a throw. That's the energy Middlesbrough need right now. I mean, Sam Parker's been playing this whole game, and he looks like the most energetic player out there. Fighting for his team, just charges down the right channel. Middlesbrough standing off, and then he wins the throw-in. Parker goes for the long throw towards Adam Ida. That was well cut out, though, by Morris, and then all the way back to Bryn. So we hit the hour mark inside the Swansea.com stadium at Swansea City 2. Middlesbrough 1. Middlesbrough took the lead through Alex Bangura. Then 2 Zambi Potnik penalties in the first half spun the scoreline in the opposite direction. And a trailing Swansea now are a leading Swansea. And a side that are in control of this game to this point. That's a worrying sign for Kim Hellberg and this Middlesbrough side. Ronald. Tackle late there by Alan Brown, and that's going to be a yellow card. Yeah, the ball was well gone, and Brown just kept coming at his man. And it was definitely a yellow card. Just made sure Ronald was not getting past him. The Irishman gives away a free kick, and he gets himself a yellow card for his troubles. There. Getting out the old tactics boards on the Middlesbrough bench. With another free kick. Swung into the box. Up and away that time. And now Morris trying to drive Middlesbrough forward. Not many options in front of him and has to reverse it back to Britton. "28 minutes to go. Middlesbrough in a real tough position. Find a goal, and this can all go in the shadows. It can swing back in their favour very easily, but need to show the intent. McGree comes centrally, finds Sarmiento. Wide it goes. Britton tries to swing it across. Away by Cabango. Back to Britton. Edge of the box now for Brown. Feeds it through. Now McGree. Blocked. Drops again. Sarmiento edge of the area. Rolls it back to McGree. Swings it in towards Conway. Headed away by Parker. Picked up by Melanda. Down the left hand side comes Conway. Conway cuts it back inside. Looking for Morris. Great save by Vigouroux, who denies Morris a leveller. Really good play by Middlesbrough. That's their best spell since they probably scored. It's the most threatening they've looked since they put the ball in the back of the net in the first half. Wonderful goalkeeper, but Aidan Morris with a really good guided effort. The keeper did well to keep it out. Corner delivered in, headed away at the front post. Not fully cleared though, as Britton picks it up on the edge. Now Brown. Across to Morris again. Shot was blocked. Picked up again on the left side. Conway. Feeling a bit of energy now, Middlesbrough. Britton. Edge of the box. Making an angle to try and spin it across. And again, Lawrence Vigouroux alert. And the first to make contact with the ball. And here comes Ji-sung Om for Swansea on the breakaway down the left, and Middlesbrough a little bit open here at the back. Om to find Ida, who was well occupied but kept alive by Cullen. Ida. Fulton. The energy's just arisen in the game. Trying to match each other now. Stamanic. Flicks it in behind, looking for the run of Parker, who just couldn't keep his footing. Allows Morris to retrieve. Edge of the area. And a shove in the back of a Middlesbrough player, but the referee says play on. Another player down in McGree this time, and he's going to pull it back for a foul. Now the referee. And Ji-sung Om is going to get a yellow card. And now Middlesbrough going to go for a triple switch. Triple substitution for the visitors. They've already made a sub, of course, that injury sub for Alex Bangura in the first half. And we're going to see a triple change. Riley McGree, Jeremy Sarmiento and David Strelic all off. And the introduction of Dale Fry, Mamadou Kali Sene and Sonche Hansen. So Fry, Hansen and Sene all on, replacing Sarmiento, Strelic and McGree. Fresh legs for Middlesbrough to try and get back into this game, as they trail by 2-1 heading into the final 24 minutes here at the Swansea.com Stadium. Aidan Morris with the best chance they've had since they scored in that first half. Middlesbrough well saved by Vigouroux. Melanda, Morris, little reverse, finding Hansen out to the right side. Britton Brown. Morris, sorry. Body's in the box. Morris unable to shake off a bit of pressure there from Melandonai down the left. His first touch by Monroe. Cuts it inside, finding Morris on the turn. Reflection. Drops the way of Senna. And cleared away. There's Middlesbrough pressure. Swansea defending. Swung in early from Britain. Up and away, not fully cleared. Props for Monroe, who struck it clean, but dragged it well wide of the right posts. Quarter of the match remains. Swansea still lead by 2-1. Middlesbrough are have only lost one of the last 4 trips to Swansea. As I said, it was their most recent visit, but they were 2-1 winners in 2023. Actually, two-time winners at Swansea in 2023. They won it in March of 23 at 3-1, and in December of 2023, 2-1. They've drawn just once here in the Championship. That was a 1-1 draw back in April 2022. Overall, Swansea have won 5 of the 9 meetings these two have had between the most recent one, this one, and 2009. Middlesbrough have won 3 of them, 2 of which in the last 3 meetings. Middlesbrough trying to hold on to a very good away record as of recent. Just lost once in the last 7 away from home. That was away at Coventry. They beat West Brom, beat Stoke, beat Sheffield United, beat Birmingham, beat QPR, and then of course that 0-0 draw with Blackburn. The only other blotch on that record, but 5 wins out of the last 7 away games. It's a record that is pretty good. And that's at risk here. Tommy Conway into the box. The shot takes a deflection as he got it off. Ben Cabango with the block. Behind for the corner. And they're in a hurry to take it here. No waiting around now for Middlesbrough. Corner number 9 of the game. In the 70th minute. Yeah, lovely ball. And again, I think a lot of their threat today, and albeit few and far between from Middlesbrough, has been Tommy Conway in that half space in the left channel. They've not found him enough. Ball whipped in deep. Vigouroux again getting his hand to it to clear it away. And Brown will let it run for the throw. But here, a real good urgency about Middlesbrough now. Can they make it count? Brown, I think, is going to go for the long one here. Not Brown, apologies. Britton, and they actually go short. Little 1-2. Cross comes in, deflected by Behind for another corner. Double figures now for Middlesbrough. Corner ticking short. 1-2, swung in by Britton, cleared away again at the front post. There's Adam Eda back there defending. Swipes that one out for a throw on the far side. Swansea going to ready for another sub in a moment. Here's Hansen. Closed out at the edge of the box. Picked back up by Ayling. Recycled by Monroe. Morris. Monroe. Swings one in, and Vigouroux watches and gathers. And now, a bit of threat on the breakaway could be on here. Ronald on his own there. Adamida was chasing forward, but Ronald couldn't hold it up. Now Hansen has it for Middlesbrough. Morris. Out to the left channel, finds Alan Brown. Versing towards Senna. Hansen, apologies, was the target there. Ultimately, Vigouroux again, guided by Ben Cabango to see the ball to safety. I think Middlesbrough are the prime example, certainly recently, if you can dominate possession, dominate shots, dominate all areas of the field, but if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you're pretty much useless. That's the simple fact of it. I don't want to be disrespectful, but that's the plain example. Well, Sam Parker given a massive hug by his head coach Vitor Matos. Wonderful performance from him at right back, and the very experienced Joel Ward is on. 36-year-old is on for the final 18 minutes. Sam Parker's put in one hell of a shift down at right back. A 19-year-old. Both in attack and in defence. And of course, Joel Ward, you'll know, Premier League fans will know, of course, former Crystal Palace player. He left Crystal Palace in the summer, didn't have a team, and then signed for Swansea in the January window. Morris to Monroe, wide on the left. Heading for Brown. Brown picks it up, but again, Swansea have really just created so much congestion that it's really, Middlesbrough have to keep it moving to create any sort of threat. Stand still and you're just being plugged up. That's a lovely ball to Malanda, finding Hansen. Swings it wide to Britton on the right, heavy touch, but Timon on the chase. Britton cuts inside, gets the better of his man, goes down. Penalty to Middlesbrough. Third penalty in this game. First one for Middlesbrough, and Ji Sung-om, who won the penalty for Swansea in the first half, has given away the penalty for Middlesbrough in the second. Oh, maybe just kind of shoves him, but it's very soft in my opinion. Yeah, it's very soft. I think the referee's fallen for that. Nonetheless, the spot kick it is. Callum Britton wins aside a penalty. I don't think it's the correct decision, but nonetheless, Tommy Conway has the chance to tie things up here for Middlesbrough. Lawrence Vigouroux, who's made some big saves already for Swansea. Can he make another one here? Try and keep his side in front. Third penalty in this game. Will it be a third goal from the spot in this game? Tommy Conway for Middlesbrough to tie things up. Conway fires it home. 2-2. No one was saving that one. An absolute rocket from the spot from Tommy Conway, and he carries the ball back to the centre spot. He knows this is only half the job. Fabulous penalty. Absolutely rifles it. And we see the penalty incident again. I'm not convinced, but nonetheless, that's the decision the referee makes. They might feel hard done by Swansea, but ultimately Tommy Conway converts and gives Middlesbrough a real lifeline heading into the final 15 minutes to try and come away with all 3 points now. 2-2. We're in for a fabulous final 15 minutes. As it stands, with this game ending as a draw at the moment, second, third and fourth in the order of Ipswich, Middlesbrough and Millwall will all be on 72 points. All separated by goal difference, obviously. Unfortunately for Millwall, Middlesbrough and Ipswich have a much better goal difference than they do. But that is the way it would stand. Middlesbrough will be up to third from fourth, where they started today, but would, however, be still sitting outside the top two. And the place they would occupy, second place, if they were to win. Here comes Orm, though, trying to make up for his error. Feeds it into the box. Cut across, and Monroe has to scramble it away. So there was threat at the back post. And Finlay Monroe, although a loose bit of possession here from Swansea. And now Middlesbrough could be away. Tommy Conway. He's got Senny in front of him. Conway fires it right at Burgess in front of him. And Burt just clears it, trying to deny the throw. Well, this is the key. Middlesbrough have had all the play in the second half, but it's similar themes of getting shots off, not really testing the goalkeeper. As I said, Aidan Morris's effort was their best. It was only their only shot on target until the penalty of the second half. And when you give a team a penalty, I mean, Swansea know it more than anyone else right now. You give a team a penalty, you risk them finding the back of the net massively. And now Middlesbrough want to make another change. Alex Gilbert is ready and waiting to enter the fray. That will be their fifth and final change, but a free kick before that to Middlesbrough. A footed delivery, headed away at the back post. Ben Cabango again getting his head to it. Kept alive though by Middlesbrough. Not away just yet. Swansea not in the clear. Callum Britton into the box he goes again. Tries the shot. Blocked by Timon. Out for the throw on the far right side. We're on the push, but intercepts. And he's carved out a counter-attacking chance that lasted as long as it did, a couple of seconds before it came crashing down. Again over-committing to try and win the ball back, that time missing it. And Middlesbrough have the possession. Brown. Back to Malanda. Right to the right-hand side for Britton. Britton inside to Morris. Back to Brown. So one more goal in this for Middlesbrough, at least. Lovely little step away here. The shot is well charged down again. Monroe keeps it alive though. Back to Malanda. As Middlesbrough continue on the push. Morris a bit more direct with Conway. Back it comes to Ealing, and Middlesbrough trying to push further with another early cross. Drop to Morris. Morris from range, blocked, deflected, shot from Hansen is just wide. Oh, caught it clean there, Hansen. Deflected into his path and he struck it well. Would have been a great goal. Just wide. Big chance. The Swans are going to make their change first. I'm going to see the introduction of Yalkui. He's going to replace Fulton, I think. And Alex Gilbert is on as well, and he's going to replace Finlay Monroe. So Malak Yalkui replacing Jay Fulton for Swansea, and Alex Gilbert replacing Finn Monroe for Middlesbrough. Both sides make their final rolls of the dice with their subs. And with less than 10 to go, we're all square at 2-2. Game could go either way. Middlesbrough want the 3 points. But Swansea have been in a winning position already in this game. Who knows, they might want to snatch it again. But in these high pressure moments, performances can be forgotten, but results are a permanent record, and they need to find a win. You feel here, Middlesbrough. A draw, albeit would keep them very much in the mix with those in and around them, but they said Ipswich have those 2 games in hand. Ipswich are really the team to watch. Middlesbrough want to keep themselves very much in that conversation, even if Ipswich pick up maximum points from their games in hand. They want to claim top spot. Obviously outside of Coventry. They want to claim that position of second. The other automatic promotion place. As I said, a position they haven't found themselves in quite a while, since they were last promoted to the Premier League, obviously. Certainly not in the fight for a place like that in a while as well. Gilberts. Wide to Britton, who switched to this left side. Conway cutting it across. Bit of a deflection. Not the best of clearances there by Ronald. And the goalkeeper, or sorry, the goalkeeper. Referee getting in the way of Middlesbrough's possession there, which is going to allow them a drop ball. A lot of Middlesbrough pressure in the second half, a lot more urgency. Oh, ball drops here in the edge of the box. Shot from Malanda was cleared away. And another shot from range, this time Ealing. And that's over the crossbar and into the cohort of his fans behind that goal. Well, I mean, it shows how desperate Middlesbrough are that their two centre-backs are having the shots right now at the edge of the box. That's how many men they're committing forward. How much they're pushing for this win. Shows how desperate they are to get it, and how desperately they need it. Oh, poor ball out from the back there. Nicely picked up by Yalkui, but he undercooked it. And Callum Britton intercepts. Morris laid it a little wide to Hansen, but he's still on the ball here, Hansen. Into the box he comes, can't get the shot off. Brown. Ealing pokes it through. Gilberts! Right down the throat of Vigaroo. Bubble of the ball here. Adam Ida occupied. Hasn't been able to make the impact that I'm sure his manager would have wanted him to, Adam Ida, since coming on the field, but not his fault. It's been a lot of Middlesbrough pressure, and Swansea just haven't been able to break that apart like they did in the first half. It's been much more intense from Middlesbrough. It's a nice ball. Senna finds it into Brown, but he was stolen away from him, and it's cleaned up the field. Ida's the only one in white anywhere near the Middlesbrough half. Everybody else back for Swansea. Trying to keep them out. Ball across from the right. That was Sen again. Out for a throw from Ben Cabango. He's got to everything. He's come anywhere near him so far in this game, Ben Cabango. Short throw taken. Clipped across by Brown. All the way through and out the other ends. That'll be a throw to Swansea, which they will be in no major hurry to take it. Albeit still 4 minutes plus the additional time to go, so there's still a bit to go in this game, but albeit, let's be completely honest, Swansea are just playing for pride. As I said, they're playing just to try and get themselves as high up the table as they can with the games they've got remaining. As I said, there is the definition of a mid-table side. They're the perfect example of one. If this does end in a draw, they'll be 13 points clear of relegation and 10 points adrift of playoffs. As I said, right in the little sandwich of the important finishing positions. At the moment, they're causing another upset. in those playoff positions. Intercepted well here in the middle by Ronald. And he's found Adamida with a bit of space here. Ida's got a chance. Shot was blocked at the edge of the box. Drops down, Ronald feeds it to he's got Ida in the middle. Cuts it back for the shot. Oh, it's spun wide. Solomon Bryn makes the save. Swansea with a huge chance. They've been under all sorts of pressure in the second half, Swansea. They haven't had a shot until right there in the whole of the second half. And it is Cullen. Swept it well. And well saved by Solomon Bryn, who's not been involved in the game in the second half. Liam Cullen's effort directed behind for the corner, of which Josh Tymon will take. 2.5 minutes from 90. Swansea with their first chance of the second half. And it would only be Middlesbrough. It would be another painful one if Middlesbrough were to throw it away again. Tymon's delivery. Back post, kept alive. Flick over into the air. Cleared away. The shot from the edge of the box by Ben Cabango is well wide. And Malanda stayed down, holding his back here. Tymon's delivery. It was Cabango that actually was battling with Malanda initially for the header. It dropped to the back post for Stamanic. And then it came back to Cabango, who struck it off target. But getting a bit sloppy now, Middlesbrough. They've had their wave. One or two little giveaways there. They've got the throw out of it, but one minute of 90 remains, and we're hearing we could have quite a few minutes of added time. Middlesbrough searching for their rescuer, searching for someone to pull them out, to pull something out here, to capture a winner. Britton, Malanda, Morris, Conway coming wide to try and help out, and then his heavy touch leads to a foul on Ronald, a free kick and a yellow card, which brings all of that pressure to a crashing storm. And Tommy Conway gives away the free kick and a yellow card as well for him. Seventh yellow card of the season for the Scot. As it stands, Ipswich will be absolutely loving it. They've won, and as it stands, Middlesbrough and Millwall will be dropping points. We will have 5 additional minutes, just like the first half. Oh, loose from Britton. Finds Adamida. Ida bricking in behind Callum Britton, who's a lot tireder. Adamida across! Oh, cleared away. Yelkui crosses it to the back post, and the header well off target by I'm not too sure who that was. Might have been Cullen again, actually. It was Ronald ultimately. Goalmouth action at both ends in the dying embers. Will one of them snatch a win? Or will it be a point apiece? 4 minutes to find out. Aidan Morris trying to reverse it, trying to be too cute. Gives it away cheaply. Although we will get the better of the chasing Stamanic there. Clip ball over the top here by Britton. Looking for the run of Sen. Cabango again on the scene. Thumps it long. And a loose ball in the middle. Yelkui trying to get on the end of it. Well closed out by Hansen. Now Gilbert. Wide to Britton. Britton edge of the box. Gilbert. Wide to Morris, gives it wide. Swung into the box and flicked on by Hansen. Couldn't direct it in. Picked up by Conway. Now Gilbert's. Britton. Flashed one, blocked. Conway now. Conway lofting one to the back post. Flicked on. Away by Burgess. Neil Curry getting his body in the mix and was brought down there by Aidan Morris. Free kick to Swansea. Well, Middlesbrough must be thinking, what on earth? Why are Swansea fighting so hard for this? They've got nothing to play for. They're playing for pride. They're playing for all the points they can get. And Swansea, right now, are fighting to the death like their life depends on it. A chance to cause a bit of an upset in the playoff battle. And the promotion battle is what is at stake here for Swansea, as well as a point, obviously. 2 minutes of the 5 added to go. That's a wild effort by Milanda. Was given Adam Ida a chance here. Morris is going to bring it down. Orme was battling. Middlesbrough get the bounce of the ball. Gilbert, though, loses out. Yilkuri picks it back up. Yilkuri's got red shirts ahead of him. Feeds it wide to Ronald. Cuts inside. Not many bodies forward for Swansea, but Yilkuri and Ronald going to the corner flag, it seems here. Give it away. Morris picks up and was fouled on the round of the edge of his own box. Free kick to Middlesbrough. 90 seconds to go. Time running out for Middlesbrough. Ealing. Cabango intercepting. And now Swansea with a chance in behind. Ida's away here. Got red shirts chasing Ida into the box. Forced a little wide. Still trying to create angles and keep Aidan Morris honest. He's right at the corner flag, Ida, and they're wrestling for it. Middlesbrough, they give it away. Ida cuts it across the box. No one on the end of it. Milanda clears, and then the shove in the back of Conway gets Middlesbrough one last free kick attempt. Well, Middlesbrough have won just one of the last 10 league games played on Easter Monday. 6 defeats. And that was in 2024 when they beat Sheffield Wednesday 2-0. It's going to be 7 defeats out of 11 Easter Monday games, or 6 defeats and 4 draws, shall I say, from the last 11 Easter Monday games. Unless they can come up with a winner here at the dying seconds. Figueroa's kick. Took a little flick by Yilkuri. 5 minutes are up, but one last hope. Ball into the box. Britton was occupying 2. Loose ball drops, but the time is up. Final score, it's a draw. Swansea, who were behind early through Bangura's rocketed efforts, fought their way back to the game through 2 Zanvi Botnick penalties to turn it around. And a penalty of their own in the second half for Middlesbrough got them a leveller through Tommy Conway, but a winner was not to be found. It's 5 without victory for Middlesbrough. 3 defeats and 2 draws from the last 5 games. That is not promotion form. And Vitor Matos is proud of his side, I'm sure. The smile on his face certainly looks like he's proud of his players. But another missed opportunity for Middlesbrough to reattain second place after Millwall lost earlier. But the big winners today are Ipswich, who take second spot ahead of Millwall on goal difference, ahead of Middlesbrough on goal difference. And now have 2 games in hand as well, Ipswich. They're the leading chargers for that second place. But it is all to fight for going into the final 5 games of the season. But Middlesbrough are going to have to find form, and fast, if they're not going to be dragged into a battle for playoffs rather than automatic promotion. Final score at the Swansea.com Stadium. It's finished Swansea City 2, Middlesbrough 2. And there's confirmation of Middlesbrough's place in the table after that draw. 72 points for all three teams in the chase here. Ipswich, Middlesbrough and Millwall all on 72. If Hull can pull off a victory against Coventry, which would be unorthodox, but if they could, they would be within 2 points of second as well. So they're not out of the fight in that one either. And speaking of Hull and Coventry, that is next. In about half an hour's time, we'll be at the MKM Stadium as Hull City take on Coventry City. Coventry looking to go 14 points clear at the top, with Middlesbrough failing to take 3 points and close the gap to Coventry. Coventry have the chance to go 14 clear with 5 games to go if they win tonight. Hull, they want to chase the teams that have dropped points in Millwall and Middlesbrough today and get themselves right back in the battle for automatic promotion of their own. We'll find out what comes of that. 8 o'clock kickoff at the MKM Stadium. And that will round off Easter Monday action that's been jam-packed in the Championship. We'll recap all of it for you in our later game in a few moments. But that's it for this one. Swansea making themselves an upsetter in the battle from automatic promotion. They're in mid-table, but Middlesbrough will be hoping that they find some form in their final 5 games to make sure that second place hasn't escaped them once again. Thanks for your company. I'll see you again shortly.